Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we're working on the 2006 Ford. It's an F350 Super Duty with a 5.4 liter engine. You're probably all looking at it saying, yeah, this is a common vehicle. I see this in the videos frequently. I work on a whole fleet of these vehicles. I have quite a few of them that I have here. This particular case here, the customer complains that the vehicle occasionally stalls while they're driving. They'll start it up and it'll stall out, or they'll put it in reverse and it'll stall out. Cannot duplicate the problem because it doesn't do it obviously when it's here at the shop, which a lot of you guys know that intermittent glitches are kind of common. But I do see there's a TSB on these trucks here, and I've run into this before with these trucks, and what I usually do is I change the throttle body because the throttle body is actually an issue with these. So the code that's in there now is a P0505. It's unable to raise the engine speed as needed. I've tried them already where I've cleaned out the throttle plates, hoping that that would take care of it. To no avail. It wound up with having to replace the throttle plate anyway. So to avoid a problem with this guy here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace the throttle body assembly. So let's get in here and we're going to get started. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me the thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. So let me get in here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and we'll work through this step by step and get this job out the door. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start taking it apart. We're going to remove the snorkel. We're going to remove the air filter assembly here. We have to unplug some of the electrical connectors here and disconnect some of these vacuum hoses on the side here. So let's grab some tools and let's get started. Snorkel off. We're going to take out this 10mm bolt right here, or nut I should say. Just take that out. And we'll remove the snorkel. Let me just lift this up off the top here. And pull it out of the front here. Just grab it and pull pretty firmly. You're not going to break it, it's stuck in there. And then we'll pull this whole thing out. Let's take it out this way here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to take this box off right here. There's a little clip on top here. You need to pry that little red clip back. And then you push down on the tab. And it comes right off. Just relocate that for now. And we're going to come around to this side over here. And down underneath here, you see this little hose here? We got to take that off. And the way you do that is there's a little tab on the side right here. You push that tab. Let's see if we can get it better. Okay. There's a little tab right here. You just pull down on that tab like that, and you just rock this, and you pull it off like that. Watch you don't break it though. Okay, that tab is pretty easily to break. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the 4 10mm bolts that hold the air cleaner assembly down. So we're going to take those out. And we're going to continue. Relocate this to the side and get it out of the way for now. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this side right here, and we're going to disconnect. This is your throttle body here, by the way. We're going to take these little pins here, we're going to push them in, and we're going to we're going to unplug that. There we go. All right, slide it to the top, and then you have to push that piece in on the side right there. You're probably going to need to get in there with a screwdriver or something. Push it in, and you can lift it off. So I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, so let me just get back on that. Relocate it to the side for now. I'm going to do the same exact thing on this one back over here. Problem is, and I'll show you, as you can see, this is the other one that we need to unplug right back in here. There's really nowhere for you to get your hands in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbolt the throttle body and take it off, and then we'll unbolt that. So we're going to take out these 10mm screws right here. We're going to lift it up, and we'll take that plug off. So let's continue. Okay. All right, now that we got the throttle body loose, we can just take it and maneuver it so we can see down the bottom here, this little clip right here, the red clip. You just pull it back, press that pin in, and it comes right out. All right, watch you don't drop anything down the engine. All right, so this is our throttle body that we're going to be replacing. It's a non-serviceable. You can clean out the throttle plate if you have a lot of coking built up inside there, but from experience, I always change them, and it resolves all the issues. So, all right, let me grab the new one, and we're going to wrap it up. Okay, now that we got a new throttle body, we're going to put it back onto the car. So, truck, I should say. Remember, when we put this in there, we're going to put this plug in the side here first before we put it all back together so we can snap it in. All right, the gasket on the base over there is new. So, let's get this back in there and get this job wrapped up. All right, I'm just going to put this in here. You'll have to listen for it to snap in, and then lock. Once it locks in, then you just push that pin back in to keep it from coming back out, and we're all set. Then we'll just line this up on the intake manifold, and we'll screw our 4 bolts back in. And remember, you had to put that new gasket on there, which I already did. Alright, now before we go any further, I'm going to look it up and see what the torque specs are on these bolts here. We're going to torque them down, and we'll make sure we're at the right specs. You can try and tighten them down by hand, but it takes 2 seconds to look it up to make sure. So let's check the torque specs, and we'll come right back. Okay, it calls for 80 foot-pounds plus a quarter turn afterwards. So we're going to torque these down, and we'll get that wrapped up. And then plus that quarter turn, and then we're all set. All right, next thing we're going to do, take that plug that you previously disconnected, and we're going to put that back on. Just push it down. You'll hear it snap in, and then push that red lock pin back down in place. All right, so now we got the throttle bodies on. Both plugs are plugged in. Next thing we're going to do is let's lay our air filter assembly in place. Tightened up, we're going to reinstall our filter housing. Slide this over the top of the throttle body. Keep your wiring and your electrical connectors off to the side for now. reinstall the 4 bolts to hold the air cleaner assembly down. Before you tighten them all up though, catch them all in there by hand. Now that we got that tight, we're gonna reconnect everything that we disconnected. This piece here, that just goes on. You don't have to worry about doing anything. When you push it on there, it snaps in place and it's locked in. Now we're going to come back over here with our electrical connector that we previously took off. And we're going to put that back on. Push it on until it snaps. And then lock it. And that's it. That's all set. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to reinstall our front snorkel on here, and we're going to fire this up. All right, that's it. Now, let's go over a couple things. Make sure you did everything that was supposed to be. We put our throttle body on. We reconnected those 4 bolts to hold the throttle body down. We connected our connector on the side over here, locked the pin in place. We connected it up back in there, locked it in place, tightened down our air filter assembly, put our mass airflow sensor back on, reconnected our vacuum line, snapped in place, and the snorkel is on and bolted on. Next thing we're going to do is let's go around and start this up and make sure we did a good job. Okay, before I go any further with this, I just want to point out one thing to you. This truck has got a GPS in it. It's going to start beeping like crazy, and there's no way to shut it off without a key to turn it off. So we don't have that key, so it is going to be a little noisy. So here we go. And once this warms up, it should drop down to a normal idle, which I can tell you already is much better than it was before. Before it only idled at about 500. So we're going to let this warm up. We're going to put the scanner back on it. Let me shut this off. We're going to let this warm up all the way. We're going to put the scanner back on it. We're going to road test it and make sure the job is completed. All right, thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, anything you need to know, drop me a line. Be more than happy to talk to you about anything. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.